Lads and lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. We are back again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, parts of the world. We are back with another big Arsenal show, another big update around the Arsenal Football Club. Lots of transfers to dive into, lots of team news and lots of speculation around the Emirates Stadium. We are going to be discussing that with the big man, Cossy, on your screen. Of course, I'm very glad, guys, that I'm always on your screens in the morning, always on your screens in the afternoon, and always on your screens in the evening, even at night. Sometimes people watch me at night. Some people do listen to my podcasts when they are driving. Give me your comment down below if you do listen to me when you're driving home, when you're at work, or probably you're going for lunch, and then you're like, let me just know what is the latest around Arsenal Football Club, and then you tune in to Cossy on Cossy's Arsenal podcast. Let me know, because I would love to give you a shout out in tomorrow's next early morning video. In today's video, we're going to be discussing Erik, Ten Hag, and Martial. Of course, we know Anthony Martial has already come out through his agent, and they have proclaimed the fact that they do not want to stay at Manchester United. They've actually said, we want to go, we want to leave. Arsenal interested in Anthony Martial there. Obviously, Thierry Henry has told Arsenal to sign Martial because he believes he could be the next Thierry Henry. Do you think, guys, Martial could be the next big thing? For me, near Arsenal, I would never bring him near Arsenal. But of course, the legend, Thierry Henry, thinks that Anthony Martial actually has something big in him as a player. Then Ten Hag, could he be and should he be the next Arsenal boss? Should he be the next Arsenal manager? We'll try to dive into that as well. He's been tipped to take over as the next Arsenal boss. I would be excited. Nuno Tavares linked to Manchester City. We'll try to dive into that on a deeper level from ESPN. And obviously, look at it. Nuno Tavares, Manchester City, I think it fits into the style of play. But anyway, we'll talk about that as well. There will be talks between Arsenal and Fiorentina for the player himself, for a permanent deal for Lucas Torreira. We'll try to dive, we'll dive into that at a bigger length. Could it be that Torreira crosses over to Fiorentina on a permanent deal, and maybe we get Dusan Vlahovic? Could it be somehow connected in that way? Arthur Melo, there is a big boost. Juve have actually put Arthur Melo on sale. According to Fabrizio Romano, he will leave in January. It is highly likely that he will be leaving the club in January, and clubs in the Premier League, La Liga, have all been set to actually sign him. Niles to Newcastle, and Edin Ketia talks to stay at the beautiful club Arsenal and the Emirates Stadium. We're going to be discussing all that in today's episode. Do me a big favor, a huge favor. Go down there and smash the like button. Yesterday, of course, guys, we were very close to 200 likes. We were very close. We didn't get there. I'm not even gonna lie. We didn't get there on our video, our target. We didn't hit it. But of course, we had more than 1,500 views on that video. That means that so many people actually spanned the video. But of course, today, let's get there. Let's get to 200 likes on this video, because guys, let's start off with our game and the little team news around the club. We are taking on Southampton in the next 8 hours there at the Emirates Stadium. They'll be visiting the Emirates Stadium, a playground where they've not won a game in the Premier League since 2018. I'm really excited for this game, and I think Arsenal, this is our time to bounce back. This is our time to get back to winning ways. It is going to be a 6 p.m. kickoff, so it's not going to be a very early kickoff. Early kickoff is Manchester City, and then after that game, we come into action. Arsenal, can we go ahead of Spurs? Can we get back to the top 6? Because United later will be playing Norwich. I think they will win that one, and they'll go up and ahead of us to 5th. But of course, our job today is to just beat Southampton. Martinelli is back, Smith Rowe is back, and Leno is also back. So the only player who is out of the team at the moment is Sid Kolasinac, and definitely we do not need him anywhere near this football club, especially on match days. He can be there in pictures, he can be there in training, he can be there on in advising, advertising brand deals for our big customers and sponsors. But when it comes to game days, when it comes to match days, Sid Kolasinac not anywhere close to this football club. So of course, guys, everyone is okay. Aubameyang did miss training yesterday. It was widely reported, but it is not because he actually has a bad relationship with Mikel Arteta. That has been confirmed already. There is no bad blood between Mikel Arteta and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. It could be for issues of COVID. It could be for issues of injury. At the moment, I cannot actually, understand why he missed training yesterday. But in the training photos of the team yesterday, he was not actually available. So let's wait and see what's going to happen with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Is he actually injured? Is he going to be featuring in this game? But with the good news and the big boost is that Martinelli, after picking up a little groin against Everton, he is back. And of course, Emile Smith-Rowe as well is also back for the game against Southampton today. Like I said, in the next 8 or less than 8 hours, we'll be getting to know all of that. Now, guys, let's get to the big news around Arsenal. Let us start off with Thierry Henry, who has told Arsenal to sign Anthony Martial. Now, according to Thierry Henry, he believes in Anthony Martial. He believes Martial is a beautiful talent, and he believes he can be the next big thing. Of course, we know Manchester United did sign Anthony Martial from Monaco around 5 years ago, and he was really a big talent. I think he is a very, very big talent. He's very, very confident on the ball. But my problem with Martial on the pitch, he is very, very lazy. His attitude doesn't work out. It is so negative. He's so negative. And the last thing we need at Arsenal at the moment is a player with a negative attitude, is a player with do not tell me anything, that do not tell me anything attitude. We do not need such players at the team at this moment. Now, Thierry Henry obviously has been a legend, and he believes that Martial could be his replacement at Arsenal. That is why I'm going to pose a question to you guys first. Do you think Anthony Martial could be the next Thierry Henry at Arsenal? I don't think his age is actually gone too much. I think he's around 25, 24, 25. He's still a very, very young player. And of course, he has come out through his agent, and they have confirmed that in January, the player wants to go. Obviously, he's not getting game time at Manchester United. He's only started 2 times in the Premier League for them this season. He looks like he's not going to be that important player at Manchester United. Obviously, with Rashford, Sancho, Bruno, Ronaldo, Cavani, it looks like he's very, very far away in pecking order, with the likes of Mason Greenwood being very, very close to the manager and the starting lineup now. So Anthony Martial, very, very good talent. I do respect him. I do love him as a player. But for me, this time he spent in the Premier League has not actually proven that he can come at Arsenal and give us something. Does he, can he score the goals? Yes, I think he can. But under our system, it is very important to see, can he work under the system? Can he actually work under system? I do not think so. But he's a very, very good player. And Thierry Henry says Arsenal should actually sign Anthony Martial if they want to sign the next big thing. Our problem is goal scoring. So probably Thierry Henry speaks, those words at the back, from at the back of that we are not really scoring goals, that we are not actually taking our chances. And he thinks if a player like Anthony Martial comes in, he could actually provide more creativity from the wings, more creativity from the wider areas of the pitch, and also more, add to the goals tally, because at the moment we are actually lagging behind in terms of goal scoring, and also in terms of making sure that teams actually face it rough, especially in the final third. So Anthony Martial, what are your thoughts, guys? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Arsenal should go for Martial, or do you think it is just a waste of time? It's just a waste of money. And of course, being the fact that the player is actually for sale in January, we want a striker in January. Would you actually prefer a loan deal for Anthony Martial in January and maybe a permanent deal in the summer? Could Martial join Arsenal? That is the big question for me. Honestly, guys, my opinion there about Anthony Martial is I would rather bring in Eden Hazard. Yes, Eden Hazard is finished, but I would rather bring in Eden Hazard. For me, Martial is slow. Martial's attitude is not on point. I do not want a player who has the same attitude as Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang at the moment. I want a player who's going to fight for the ball. I want a player who's going to fight for the team. I want a player who's going to die for his teammates. I want a player who's going to try to show the manager, to impress the manager, that I am always positive. I want a player who is always very, very positive. The likes of Martinelli, we've seen them this season not getting the chances, but the moment he got the chances, you saw it. Very positive young lad, very, very positive. He's already on the tongues of Arsenal fans. No, all of us are saying, give Martinelli more football, because he's positive, because he wants to play for this team, and because he fights for his chances. And again, Martial, that is what he's failing to do at Manchester United. He's failing to push for his chances. He's failing to fight for his chances. The likes of Cavani are actually getting ahead of him. The likes of Ronaldo, the likes of Greenwood, the likes of Rashford, they are getting ahead of him, and he's just saying, you know what, I'm giving up, I want to go. If he gives up at Manchester United, definitely that means he will give up at Arsenal. But I really don't want to go against him, because he's a very, very good talent, and I really, really rate him as a player. But bringing him close to Arsenal, no. I'd rather go with a player like Richarlison or Rafinha or Anthony from Ajax. Not really Anthony Martial. But anyway, guys, what are your thoughts there on Anthony Martial? And of course, still thinking about asking your thoughts on potential signings. What do you think about Erik ten Hag being tipped to be the next Arsenal manager? We spoke about this yesterday, and in my opinion, I did say that ten Hag is a perfect fit for Arsenal. Number one, you have him there as a manager who has a philosophy. You have him as a manager who has experience on the scene of football, but also, and this is last but not the least, he is a manager that can inspire the young talent that we have at the side. When I look at Erik ten Hag, I look at him as another Angel Nigelsmann, a young manager that can really inspire young talent, that can actually do very, very great things. He's already got the experience. He has his own style of play. He has his own philosophy, and all of us can actually witness, and we know what he's doing there at Ajax. So Arsenal, Erik ten Hag has been tipped to be the next Arsenal manager. Will he join Arsenal? Can he get the job done when he joins Arsenal? For me, the set of players we have, the kind of project we have, is very, very similar to what Ajax have there. And I think if he comes in, he can actually just bring in his style of play, his confidence, his inspiration in this young side. And you can see a different Arsenal. We will see a very, very different Arsenal if Erik ten Hag joins the club. But of course, there's a big question there to you guys. Do you think he is the manager? Would you the Arsenal should be going for? Would you prefer a player like a manager like Brendan Rodgers, who's actually Premier League proven and also has been in the scene of football for a very, very long time? Or would you prefer for Arsenal to have one young manager that is really, really good, really proven, and has a very, very big future ahead of him? Get in the comments and let me know your thoughts about that. In more transfer news around the club, we are going to be holding talks very, very soon with Fiorentina on two players. Number one is Lucas Torreira. A permanent deal is actually on the cards. Torreira could be facing a permanent deal to stay at Fiorentina. Now, of course, we know that he's really, really doing very well there on loan at Fiorentina. Fiorentina have already started talks. Have already initiated, not started, but they have initiated talks with Arsenal to see that they can take the young player there at Fiorentina on a permanent deal. My thoughts on that, definitely, I think he really works well in Italy. English football, I don't think he actually fits in, but in Italy, he's actually really, really doing well. Of course, you remember we signed him there from Sampdoria. Was it Sampdoria? Yes, I think we do. Yes, I think we did. And obviously, we loaned him to Fiorentina, and you can see how life is very, very easy for him there. Down there in Italy. So I think it will be a very, very good deal for the player himself, and it will be a very, very good deal for Arsenal. However, Fiorentina are actually valuing the player at a very, very, very low price that Arsenal value him. Arsenal want at least 15 million in Lucas Torreira, and Fiorentina want to pay less than 10 million for Lucas Torreira. However, the talks could actually be escalating, and then we will have a swap deal negotiated between Dusan Vlahovic and Lucas Torreira. Of course, we know at the moment that Fiorentina have already purchased a new striker, and they are looking at the fact that if Dusan Vlahovic actually leaves in January, they already have a new striker there from Lille signed. So the big question, guys, then is should Lucas Torreira sign for Fiorentina? I think that's one. That one is an easy one. Obviously, it's going to be yes, but the question is, how much should we get for Lucas Torreira? And should it be a swap deal between Arsenal for Dusan Vlahovic and Fiorentina for Lucas Torreira? A lot remains to be seen in that regard. But of course, for me, guys, my thoughts there is my thoughts are very, very clear. I think we should let the player go. Let him move on. It is high time we let him go from Arsenal Football Club. Now, of course, guys, I would like us to react to reports that Ralf Rangnick was actually going to be the next Arsenal boss after Arsene Wenger. The reason as why Ralf Rangnick actually rejected Arsenal was because we gave Mesut Ozil a new long-term contract. Can you believe it? Can you believe it, guys? Now, this is the story. The story is that Ralf Rangnick was the closest contender, was the closest manager to take over from Arsene Wenger way back in 2018. Why he rejected Arsenal in the dying days, why he rejected Arsenal in the final moments, is they gave Mesut Ozil a new contract. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. We gave Mesut Ozil a new long-term contract, minus contacting him, minus asking him whether he was actually going to use the player. And that is why Ralf Rangnick said, this team does not value me. This team does not see me as a serious person. I'm not going to sign for them. Can you imagine? We missed such a manager because of our foolishness. We missed such a manager because we didn't actually look like a proper club. I'm disgusted. I'm really, really disgusted. But that is a story. Ralf Rangnick could have been an Arsenal manager, but the problem was that we signed Mesut Ozil on a new on a new long-term contract, and Ralf Rangnick was not consulted, and he thought that the club actually does not value his opinion, and that's why he refused to join us. We missed out on one of the best managers in the world. He would have made us a Leipzig. He would have made us a Gengem team presser. I'm just excited by the thought that we would have been playing good football like Schalke 04 back then, good football like RB Leipzig back then, good football like Red Bull Salzburg at the moment. I'm really, really excited in advance. But anyway, guys, that's the truth. Did I say Erik Ten Hag? Ralf Rangnick could have joined Arsenal if we didn't give Mesut Ozil a new contract. We bottled it. We absolutely bottled it there. Now, the latest around outgoings at the club. Of course, I will speak about Arthur Melo later, in the upcoming videos. But Eddie Nketiah could stay at Arsenal. Mikel Arteta yesterday in his press conference did say that that Eddie knows how much I rate him, how much I like him, and I would like him to stay. We are having talks with his agents. We are having talks with the player so that he can actually stay at Arsenal Football Club. For me, guys, that was the last blow. That was the last nail in the coffin. I can't believe this manager anymore. I can't understand the direction in which we are moving. If you believe Eddie Nketiah is going to be your talisman, if we believe, if our manager believes that Eddie Nketiah should be our main talisman, I do not understand. I really do not understand why Mikel Arteta wants to keep Eddie Nketiah at Arsenal Football Club. I will never understand unless Eddie Nketiah becomes a star striker. But right now, Eddie Murphy, Nketiah, for me, should be out of this football club. Two players are wanted by Newcastle from Arsenal in this January transfer window, and that is Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Mohamed Elneny. Now, Elneny is rumored to have an agreement, a pre-existing agreement with a club in Turkey, and that could be Galatasaray. But at the moment, it looks like Newcastle have also kicked in. They want the player. Mohamed Elneny will be leaving in January for AFCON, so I do not know whether he's going to actually stay at the club or in January or actually leave on a permanent basis. But what I can confirm is that Newcastle and Galatasaray and Fenerbahce are all interested, and there is rumored to be an agreement between Elneny and Galatasaray to join them on a free in the summer. We will get to know much of what's going to happen there. And obviously, Ainsley Maitland-Niles beliefs are actually growing further and further, stronger and stronger, that there is a lot of frustration in the camp, especially that of Ainsley Maitland-Niles, with the lack of game time that he's getting at Arsenal, especially when Mikel Arteta told him, I believe in you. I want you to stay. You are my player. You're the next big thing. I want you to stay. And this is what I'm saying, guys. These players at times have been lied to. Mikel has been lying to these guys about the project. He's been lying to these players about what they mean to him. And 15 games, how many games has he played this season? 2 games. He played that, played very, very well when Partey was away. And again, I think he also came on for the Liverpool game. That is the last time he played. Watford and Liverpool. When did he ever play again? So Ainsley is also wanted by Newcastle in January. Could he leave? Could he stay? That and more will be discussed in the transfer live shows that will be coming up later. I want to thank everybody who has been subscribing to this channel. I just looked at the subscribers and they've really changed. Are we at 362? Very good numbers there. So thanks everybody for subscribing, and obviously hit that like button. I'm really gassed. I'm really happy that you guys are doing it for me. Hit the like button. Let's get them to 200 likes on this video. And as always, I love you. Come on, you Gunners. Come on, you Gunners. We have to beat Southampton today, and I'll speak to you in the kickoff live, match reaction, player ratings, 6 things we learned, and in the preview for our West Ham game, which will be actually the biggest London derby in this season for us.
You say I make you nervous, a tragedy, I'm a beautiful disaster, a record.